Hello everyone, and welcome to Natural Resources Canada's e-training course on sustainable strategies for existing federal facilities. This course has been adapted from the U.S. Department of Energy's Federal Energy Management Program training material on sustainable strategies for existing federal facilities. This training is being delivered through the Natural Resources Canada Greening Government Services to help federal departments and agencies plan and implement projects that reduce the energy use and greenhouse gas emissions in their buildings, laboratories, other facilities, and vehicle fleets. Over the years, Natural Resources Canada has been successfully developing comprehensive methodologies, practices, and tools to reduce energy consumption and greenhouse gas emissions for the private and public sectors, including the federal government. Since 1991, NRCan has provided enhanced technical support to Government of Canada organizations seeking ambitious greenhouse gas emission reduction actions from their building and fleet operations. This training will support federal organizations to meet their commitments and lead by example. The federal government has committed to reducing emissions from its operations by 40% below 2005 levels by 2030 and by 80% by 2050, as outlined in the 2016-19 Federal Sustainable Development Strategy and in the Greening Government Strategy. It is important to note that federal buildings represent almost 90% of the government's greenhouse gas emissions. This initiative also supports the commitment by Canada's federal, provincial, and territorial First Ministers to scale up efforts to transition to highly efficient buildings and zero-emission vehicle fleets as specified in the Pan-Canadian Framework on Clean Growth and Climate Change. This training course has 5 modules. Module 1, Achieving High Performance in Federal Buildings. The first module is an introduction of what sustainability means for federal facilities and the critical roles that energy and facility managers play. Module 2, Identifying Sustainability Opportunities. This module will discuss the importance of baselining and benchmarking sustainability measures to align with federal objectives and validate progress. Module 3, Engaging your organization for maximum impact. In this module, we will explore best practices for setting up a sustainability or green team to strategize and implement sustainability measures and engage building users. Module 4, Developing, Evaluating, and Implementing Sustainability Measures. This is where we will learn the methods and best practices for measuring performance. Module 5, Sustainability as a Cycle for Continuous Improvement. The final module will discuss best practices for keeping individuals and organizations engaged in a long-term sustainability effort. The learning objectives of this course will provide you with the competencies to identify and implement sustainable operations and maintenance practices in the areas of energy, water, materials management, and indoor environmental quality. Apply tools, such as the Energy Star Portfolio Manager or RET Screen, to baseline and benchmark facilities, assess existing conditions, identify areas of improvement, and establish implementation plans to improve the sustainability of a building. Recognize decision points and opportunities to implement sustainable strategies to achieve integrated and holistic improvements that are cost-effective, and engage an organizational team in a sustainable operations plan to ensure continuous improvement to building performance. We will begin with Module 1, Achieving High Performance in Federal Buildings. A sustainable strategy can be evaluated using a triple bottom line framework. The 3 components in this framework are environmental stewardship, social responsibility, and economic prosperity. Successful sustainable strategies incorporate all 3. Environmental stewardship consists of protecting air, water, land, and ecosystems, as well as conserving resources, including fossil fuels. Social responsibility involves improving the quality of life and equity for individuals, communities, and society as a whole. Finally, economic prosperity involves reducing costs, adding value, and creating economic opportunities for individuals, organizations, communities, and nations. While there are many facets to a strategic sustainability performance plan, this course will focus on 4 fundamentals: optimizing energy performance, protection and conservation of water, use of environmentally preferable products and materials, and enhanced indoor environmental quality. The first fundamental of sustainable facility management is the optimization of energy performance. Supplies of fossil fuel are increasingly unreliable, concerns for energy security are on the rise, and the impacts of global climate change are becoming more evident. Sustainable and high-performance buildings are critical to reduce energy load, increase resource efficiency, and maximize cost-effective renewable energy technologies. Federal agencies are increasingly committed to significantly reducing our dependence on foreign energy sources and energy derived from fossil fuels. Optimizing energy performance begins by reducing energy consumption and associated costs, increasing resource efficiency, and maximizing the use of cost-effective renewable technologies. It is important to measure and verify energy use frequently in order to properly track performance over time. This fundamental practice is in line with the federal commitment put forward in the Greening Government Strategy, stating that the Government of Canada will reduce Scope 1 and Scope 2 greenhouse gas emissions from federal facilities and fleets by 80% below 2005 levels by 2050. There are many benefits that can result from taking action on optimizing energy performance. The environmental benefits are lower electricity and fossil fuel use, lower greenhouse gas emissions, and associated air pollution caused by fossil fuel production and distribution. The economic benefits, such as lower first costs and operating costs when systems can be downsized due to integrated energy solutions, reduced dependence on imported oil, lower annual fuel and electricity costs, reduced peak power demand, and cost and reduced need for new energy infrastructure. The protection and conservation of water is another fundamental of sustainable facility management. Although 2/3 of the Earth's surface is water, less than 0.5% is available for our use. By creating a strategic sustainability plan that uses water wisely, we can reduce use and its associated energy and environmental impacts. Much like energy, water use should be measured and verified frequently to track improvements over time and identify leaks. The federal government is committed to the protection and conservation of water and has stated the following in the Greening Government Strategy. The Government of Canada will reduce its water consumption by tracking and disclosing its potable water consumption by 2022, using best-in-class water use practices in new construction and major renovations, and designing all new Crown-owned buildings to effectively manage stormwater. The environmental benefits of taking action on preserving water include lower potable water consumption and pollution discharge into our aquifers and waterways, the preservation of water resources for wildlife and agriculture, and the restoration of wetland ecologies. The economic benefits of protecting and conserving water include reduced annual water costs, lower municipal costs for wastewater treatment, and lower first costs for certain fixtures. A sustainable building is constructed of materials that minimize life cycle environmental impacts, such as global climate change, resource depletion, and human toxicity. Environmentally preferable materials reduce waste and disposal costs, preserve the environment, and contribute to employee health and safety. Sustainable materials minimize life cycle costs and reduce waste. They protect the health and safety of the tenants, and they decrease the need for fossil fuels. The Government of Canada is committed to reducing the environmental impact of building materials using life cycle assessment techniques to minimize embodied carbon and the use of harmful materials in construction and renovation. The environmental benefits are reducing mining and harvesting of virgin resources, reduced strain on ecosystems from disposal, and reduced energy use for material and resource transportation, manufacturing, and processing. The economic benefits are decreased first costs due to local material harvesting, material reuse and use of recycled materials, lower costs for treatment and waste disposal, and lower municipal costs for construction and operation of landfills. Another fundamentals of sustainable facility management is enhancing indoor environmental quality. Sustainable facility management avoids the use of harmful chemicals and materials, aims to improve air quality and create productive environments, and facilitates interactivity among building occupants. Even a small boost to worker productivity can result in savings that can offset the cost of improvements. As part of its greening strategy, the Government of Canada will focus on the well-being of its employees and communities in which it operates by creating sustainable workplaces and mobilizing employees on government greening. The environmental benefits related to improved indoor environmental quality include better air quality inside the facility, reduced volatile organic emissions, and reduced carbon dioxide and carbon monoxide emissions. The economic benefits of enhanced environmental quality are healthier and more productive work environments, higher organizational productivity, lower absenteeism and reduced staff turnover, and lower disability health insurance costs. Energy and facility managers control more resources that potentially impact sustainability than most other professionals on site. In the short term, they establish baselines, initiate projects, facilitate discussions with co-workers, and identify opportunities for teamwork and collaboration. In the long term, they have the potential to create momentum and keep progress and focus as ongoing sustainability projects evolve. Through their leadership, a tremendous change in energy and environmental quality is possible. Sustainability is a cyclical process for continuous improvement and so requires a continuous effort. It should not be viewed as an endgame with a finish line to cross. Do whatever you can with the resources at hand, set a goal to move beyond compliance, and then improve upon your own benchmarks as you work toward those goals. Even if you can't meet the goals of this year, how close can you get? Can you set your sights higher and continually reevaluate and improve your process? Always be in a listening mode to continually evaluate and look for new or enhanced sustainable measures to apply. Because individuals determine how buildings are used and maintained, sustainability initiatives must recognize the critical connection between buildings and the people who use them. Organizing a sustainable facility team, or green team, is a proven way to engage individuals with varying responsibilities and perspectives who share a stake in facility operations. A green team can be formal or informal, but should always be multidisciplinary. In Module 1, we covered the triple bottom line of sustainability, the importance of leadership in the federal sector, the 4 fundamentals of sustainable facility management, integrating the 4 fundamentals into a holistic plan, and the leadership role of the energy/facility manager in the team process. In the next module, we will cover ways to identify the best strategies to implement sustainable measures at your site. Module 2, Identifying Sustainability Opportunities. In Module 2, we will look at energy and facility managers' typical tasks and responsibilities and how to broaden them to achieve multiple benefits with a single action. We will review the cyclical process of implementing sustainability and ways to use decision points as bridges to sustainable strategies. The process for integrating sustainability measures into strategic goals can generally be summarized in 4 steps. Evaluate current requirements and opportunities. Engage a team and measure operational performance. Develop, evaluate, and implement sustainability measures. Revisit and revise goals and activities. These steps outline a cycle that should be followed to ensure that consistent improvements are being made. Now let's take a look at the first step in more detail. The process of evaluating current requirements and opportunities begins by developing an understanding of a facility's sustainability requirements. Once an understanding has been established, the facility team can proceed to identify opportunities to expand sustainability efforts. Meeting broad-based sustainability goals may or may not be part of your formal job description and job performance criteria. If not, you can still advance sustainability by taking advantage of key opportunities in the tasks you already perform to include broader sustainability measures. Common opportunities to incorporate sustainability in your decision-making include undergoing a renovation or upgrade, revising O&M contracts, replacing inefficient or aging equipment, scheduled preventive O&M, repurposing of office space. Let's go over some examples to see how these decision points can affect the overall sustainability of a building. Undergoing a renovation or addition offers many opportunities for integrating and bundling low-cost sustainability measures. A common example is the construction of a new parking lot. After an initial assessment, your team might identify multiple opportunities to improve the project's sustainability quotient, such as including clauses in the RFP that require recycled content concrete, requiring highly efficient lighting, and including requirements for electrical vehicle charging stations. In addition to meeting the needs of your facility's growing workforce, these measures will have other short and long-term impacts such as reducing waste by using recycled content products, improving worker safety with better, more efficient lighting, and encouraging the purchase and use of electric vehicles. Revising O&M contracts is a great opportunity to improve sustainability. A common example is the development of an RFP for a new contractor to clean your facilities. This task presents several opportunities to add sustainability requirements, such as including clauses that require bio-based, non-toxic cleaning products, incorporating sustainability performance metrics into vendor subcontracts, requiring Energy Star designated products, and using local labor and small businesses. The impacts of this decision are improving indoor environmental quality and improving workforce health and job satisfaction. A common equipment replacement project is the replacing of the heating, ventilation, and air conditioning system, also known as HVAC. The opportunities related to taking on such a project include potential to downsize the new HVAC system based on calculated cost savings from improving the building envelope, potential to use dual heating and cooling technologies, commissioning the new system and integrating existing systems for improved energy performance, and consider running systems using clean energy. The decision point can affect sustainability in the following ways: improving the energy efficiency and energy use intensity of the building, improving ventilation and indoor air quality, increasing occupant comfort and productivity, and reducing the need for HVAC repairs and downtime. Your facility's preventive maintenance routine offers many opportunities to identify sustainability improvements. Consider the following opportunities when performing commissioning activities for the HVAC and building automation systems. Select a commissioning contractor with sustainability credentials and experience. Adjust building automation systems to reflect actual occupancy. Establish an energy baseline and develop a benchmark to track progress. Develop energy conservation measures based on these results. Performing commissioning activities on the HVAC and building automation systems can improve occupant comfort during occupied office hours, reduce manual overrides of the building automation system, which improves energy efficiency, improve worker health and safety, and reduce greenhouse gas emissions. Repurposing office space offers many opportunities for sustainable upgrades. For instance, if your team is charged with repurposing a floor in an office building, you should evaluate the benefits of recycling old furniture and building materials, selecting new materials and furniture that is made from recycled content, bio-based, and has low VOC finishes, selecting partitions with reflective surfaces and lower heights to improve electric and day lighting potentials, purchasing and installing efficient task lighting, and selecting low VOC, non-toxic bio-based paints. These measures can have a big impact both in terms of reducing energy use and improving indoor environmental conditions for employees. The related impacts are improved indoor air and environmental quality, improved lighting efficiency, and improved plug loads. In Module 2, we reviewed the typical tasks and responsibilities and how they can be broadened to include a sustainability component. We introduced the 4-step process for integrating sustainability into a strategic plan. We covered key decision points in job tasks that can expand sustainability opportunities. In the next module, we'll cover ways to benchmark your efforts, use software tools to chart your progress, and ways to engage your team in institutional change towards sustainable operations. Module 3. Engaging your organization for maximum impact. This module will discuss best practices for organizing an interdisciplinary sustainability team and determining your facility's initial baseline and subsequent benchmarks for energy and water use, greenhouse gas emissions, and sustainability measures. In this module, we will cover important aspects related to team engagement and the measurement of operational performance. This stage of the process includes the formation of a sustainability team, the measurement of baseline performance, and the establishment of performance benchmarks. In the following slides, we will discuss the importance of identifying and engaging key team members to play important roles, using software tools for energy performance benchmarking such as Energy Star Portfolio Manager or RETScreen, establishing clear baselines for tracking progress, and developing an effective action plan based on well-informed goals and strategies. Energy and facility managers are directly involved in a range of energy and resource efficiency improvements, from new construction to retrofits to equipment upgrades and installation of controls. Successful projects require the coordination of individuals with diverse roles and responsibilities. Buy-in and support are critical at individual and group levels. Incorporating sustainability into current projects usually requires you to expand your project team to include various resource-specific disciplines. A sustainability or green team that includes an interdisciplinary perspective can provide comprehensive and effective solutions. A green team is usually led by a sustainability champion who is committed and enthusiastic about making a change towards a more sustainable facility. Sustainability champions should surround themselves with a core team comprised of key stakeholders such as energy managers, property managers, procurement officers, or sustainability coordinators. Additional team members should also participate in the Green Team discussions to provide an outside perspective on the initiatives at hand. Additional team members include human resources representatives, financial officers, O&M contractors, and others. Sustainability operations are unique to the facility's content, so gather your team accordingly. Work with management to help identify and recruit employees with a role to play, such as those involved in procurement, recycling, and other waste management-related job tasks. The size of your team may depend on the size of your organization, but should have enough members to explore holistic solutions. In all cases, a sustainability team will be responsible for selecting, coordinating, and implementing a project. It will also track progress, including benchmarking, monitoring, and evaluating performance. Finally, the team effort should include recording best practices, delivering training, communicating results, celebrating achievement, and providing recognition. Human behavior is a frequently overlooked element in achieving aggressive building performance goals. Changing behavior requires understanding occupant and user habits and motivations. Be sure to include individuals on your sustainability team that can help pinpoint and address occupant behavior issues and promote change using targeted outreach and education. The most common performance inefficiencies caused by human behavior include new or unfamiliar building technologies, lack of understanding, education, and training, inaccessible information or ineffective feedback mechanisms, and cultural norms and institutional protocols that do not foster sustainability. Deploying an action plan to address barriers has three main parts. First, creating an effective communications plan includes the project's objectives, how they will be implemented, and expectations for occupants. Messages should be delivered and reinforced by senior management and sustainability team members in person, in presentations, and on the site's intranet. Second, education and training should provide the foundation for continuous improvement through workshops or other training. Third, effective feedback tools should include focus groups and surveys. The key for successful messaging is to show that the project is aligned with the organization's mission and sustainability vision and promotes the occupant's stewardship responsibility. The action plan should integrate the following principles: awareness of the need for change, desire to participate and support the project, knowledge of what is required, ability to implement new skills and associated behavior, reinforcement to keep change in place. Your facility's long-term success will hinge on an ability to collectively create and adopt a sustainability ethic. Studies show that fostering a culture of sustainability requires supportive resources and policies that empower change, well-trained program staff, and engaged senior management. A successful sustainability policy will set the stage for long-term success, clearly define what sustainability means for employees, and demonstrate how it helps the department meet its critical mission. Prior to any launch, prepare a briefing to gain support of senior management. This step is critical to the success of a sustainability action plan, as the support from senior management can make or break any given initiative. Once a team has been assembled, the first step is to organize a kickoff meeting to develop a plan and schedule future meetings. At the kickoff meeting, introduce team members and roles and set expectations. The next step is to determine a baseline of building performance and establish a performance benchmark for which to aim for. From there, team members can identify problems and opportunities for improvement and, as a group, justify efforts to move forward and make a change. The first project that a team takes on should be one that is simple and provides quick results and payback. This will help build momentum and gain further support from senior management. Your team's first task should be to establish a baseline and benchmark of energy consumption, water use, and greenhouse gas emissions. A baseline establishes a facility's energy or water use for a set period as a point of reference for future comparison. A baseline provides the starting point for setting goals and evaluating future efforts and overall performance. 12 months of data provides a solid baseline for most facilities. Benchmarking is a process to account for and compare a metered building's current performance against its own baseline or against other similar types of buildings. Benchmarking can chart progress on several important data sets, which can help inform goals, set targets, and timelines. Document resource use, verify uses and costs of energy, water, and greenhouse gas emissions, pinpoint energy and water leaks, and identify billing errors. Energy Star Portfolio Manager is an online management and tracking tool most widely used for measuring energy and water use in buildings. It includes features to manage energy and water consumption, rate building energy performance, estimate your carbon footprint, set investment priorities, verify and track progress of projects, gain recognition, access related tools, and track other third-party certifications. While all buildings can use Portfolio Manager to track and assess energy and water use, There are currently only 7 building types eligible for an energy score in Canada. These building types are K-12 schools, commercial offices, hospitals, supermarkets and food stores, medical offices, senior care communities and residential care facilities, and ice/curling rinks. If your building type is not currently eligible for a score, keep in mind that Natural Resources Canada will be developing new scores on a progressive basis, and your building type could be next. Taking the right steps to ensure that benchmarking data is consistent and accurate may take some time, but will lay a solid foundation for sustainability initiatives. Be sure to develop a benchmarking plan to outline a strategic approach to the process. Document a clear picture of how the data is currently being measured and used. Consider bringing an outside consultant or third-party provider, like an energy service company, to guide the process. Consistently train all staff involved in the collection of data and input process. Use available tools and resources to make compliance easier. Another powerful tool for the management of energy performance is RETScreen. Developed by the Government of Canada, RETScreen Expert is a software for energy efficiency and renewable energy project feasibility analysis, as well as ongoing energy performance analysis. This tool has many functions and can be used to perform portfolio-wide analysis, collect information on a facility, perform benchmarking analysis, track energy and greenhouse gas emissions, and for general performance analysis. This tool is used widely throughout government and industry. Some of the key users include 3M, CRH Canada, Oxford Properties, Canadian Tire, the Coalition of Ontario Universities, National Defence, Public Services and Procurement Canada, and Natural Resources Canada. In Module 3, we discuss best practices to engage your organization in developing specific measurable goals. This process involves engaging all those who play important roles in achieving these goals, using available tools such as Energy Star Portfolio Manager or RETScreen, and establishing a baseline and benchmarking your progress. From there, your team can develop a specific action plan based on well-informed goals and strategies. In Module 4, we discuss steps related to developing, evaluating, selecting, and implementing sustainable measures and explore common options for sustainable upgrades. In this module, we will discuss best practices for translating your baseline and benchmarking data sets into clear, metric-based sustainability goals. From there, your team will be well informed to select and implement sustainability measures that meet your facility's specific needs and provide opportunities for continuous improvement. The slides that follow will explain methods for analyzing data and setting sustainability goals, evaluating different sustainability measures, and developing a sustainability action plan. The data produced by benchmarking will provide your team with information to formulate operational performance plans for each of the 4 fundamentals individually and in combination. As a next step, analyze the benchmarking data to determine trends in resource consumption and to estimate the potential for improvements. Benchmarking data can be used to rank facilities by performance in different compliance areas, identify high-performing facilities for replicable practices, prioritize poor-performing facilities for immediate improvement, and identify opportunities to save resources and costs. Within Portfolio Manager, it is possible to generate progress reports on individual facilities and entire portfolios. The value of benchmarking data becomes apparent once it's analyzed for resource use patterns and trends. Your team will need to determine which combination of analysis methods best fit your facility's needs. Analyzing quantitative data will allow you to compare consumption and cost data across utilities over time and will reveal trends. This knowledge is critical to incorporate into strategic planning and action. Use profiles to identify energy consumption peaks and valleys and to determine how they relate to operations or key events. Performance comparisons. Compare the use and performance data of similar facilities within your campus or across your department. Financial impact assessments. Identify areas of high-cost resource use. Analyzing qualitative data will review feedback from building occupants and incorporate preferences and behaviors into sustainable organizational values and procedures. This will influence outcomes and reveal sustainability choices. It will also enable continual improvement and ensure adaptive management. Interviews can be used to document opinions, experiences, and best practices from building staff, occupants, and others about how building systems are used. Policies and procedural reviews examine how organizational policies and operating procedures positively or negatively impact resource use. How do you set sustainability goals? The best way is to start with accurate benchmarking data. With accurate data, the sustainability team can set actionable performance goals that take into account benchmarking results, federal requirements and mandates, departmental strategic sustainability goals, facility priorities based on the results from technical assessments and audits, and performance goals of similar facilities. It is helpful to create a table of sustainability performance goals in order to have one list incorporating all potential goals. This table will make it easier to share progress and status updates with external stakeholders. To set meaningful goals with buy-in, now is a good time to actively engage the team. Schedule a series of meetings to review data analysis results, discuss performance gaps, and brainstorm improvement strategies. First, establish a vision statement to articulate exactly how sustainability helps the facility and department meet its mission. Next, develop a set of sustainability priorities to identify specific focus areas or high-priority items that are unique to your site. Finally, link performance goals to priorities with clear metrics that correspond to each priority. When you establish a clear vision, your objectives should naturally flow out of this vision. Then your criteria emerge from those objectives. Next, you can benchmark against that criteria. And finally, you can establish methods to track results. Work with your team to develop effective strategies and track progress using SMART goals that are specific, measurable and monitored, achievable, realistic, and time-bound. Common ways to express sustainability goals include defined reduction, where goals are expressed in terms of a specific quantity or percentage decrease, such as a 10% water reduction or an annual energy reduction of 300 kilowatt hours. Best in class, where goals are expressed as a certain level of performance compared to an established benchmark. Efficiency improvement, where goals are expressed as a function of reducing the resource use intensity of a specific performance indicator. Environmental improvement, where goals are translated as savings presented in pollution prevention targets or materials avoidance units. Additionally, your facility may find it useful to establish threshold goals, where goals are expressed as a minimum acceptable level of performance, and stretch goals, where goals are expressed as levels beyond typical targets to create an incentive for greater achievement. With performance goals firmly established, your team can now develop an integrated set of sustainability measures. Sustainability measures can include projects, policies, and procedures. In many cases, your team will want to strategically combine several sustainability measures to achieve a goal. Take advantage up front of the low-hanging fruit or no-cost, low-cost measures, such as repairs and scheduled preventive maintenance to building systems, policy revisions to operations and maintenance, purchasing and property management policies, or efficiency upgrades for lighting and water fixtures. Occupant behavior changes are another way to improve the sustainability of your facility. Building occupants' behavior has been shown to directly impact up to 30% of facility resource use. Include sustainability measures that strategically target the behavior of building users and operators. Training for building operators, including property managers, O&M staff, and cleaning crew, can have big payoffs. Educating occupants about resource consumption can yield big savings. Examples of beneficial behavior include turning off lights and shared technology when not in use, using double-sided printing options throughout the building, reducing plug loads by unplugging equipment at the strip, taking stairs for short trips between floors, using water from the tap or water cooler instead of bottled water, and ride-sharing or using public transit. After exploring low-hanging fruit and occupant behavior changes, consider integrating sustainability measures into capital improvement projects. Ensure that all equipment is tuned up, commissioned, calibrated, and operating efficiently. Assess current needs and right-size replacement equipment. Specify the most energy-efficient components and models when replacing equipment, and integrate sustainable design features into the project, such as performance-oriented siting and landscaping, daylighting, recycled content, design for disassembly, and passive heating and cooling. Measures that are life cycle cost-effective have estimated savings that exceed the estimated costs over their lifespan. In economic terms, a building design is deemed to be cost-effective if it results in benefits equal to those of alternate designs and has a lower whole life cost or total cost of ownership. For your team's first project, it is important to identify simple actions that can be made to show quick progress or payback. Let's explore some energy efficiency measures that can lead to a more sustainable and enjoyable office environment. One example is to align daylight harvesting with space function to reduce the need for electric lighting and heating and cooling loads. There are several ways to implement this measure. For example, by installing light shelves to increase reflectivity at window openings to increase daylight penetration, running light tubes through ceilings to supply more natural light from the roof, installing window shadings and glare filters to reduce glare on workstations, lowering workstation walls to 1 meter to provide privacy while transmitting light across office space, maximizing access to outdoor views and light to increase the occupant comfort, satisfaction, and productivity, and providing controls for window shades to empower occupants to manage the glare and heat emitted into the workspace. HVAC systems typically comprise the largest energy-using component of any building or facility and have the greatest energy savings opportunity. In new buildings, design buildings to site HVAC systems towards the center of the building to keep conditioned air near workspaces and avoid loss through exterior walls. In existing buildings, look for component replacements to optimize performance of the overall system. Actions that can be taken to capitalize on this opportunity include upgrading insulation, building envelope sealants, and windows to downsize the HVAC system and lower energy consumption. Increasing ventilation rates to replace contaminated air with filtered air from the outdoors to improve work performance and occupant health. Taking advantage of opportunities to recommission or retrocommission HVAC systems to ensure they are operating using ASHRAE 90.1 recommended settings, and, where possible, display HVAC and other resource-using system information in common areas to educate building occupants. Water efficiency measures are another way of improving the sustainability of a facility. Rainwater harvesting systems capture and reuse non-potable on-site water that can be used for landscape irrigation and reduce potable water and non-potable water consumption. This measure presents the following benefits related to improved sustainability. Green roofs substantially reduce heat loss through the roof membrane. Stormwater collection and retention systems reduce the energy required to pump and process water at the municipal level. Wetland plant species can enhance water quality through biodigestion of pollutants. For health reasons, gray water and stormwater harvesting systems must comply with local building codes. Restrooms present opportunities to improve the water efficiency of a facility. Here are some measures to consider when looking to improve the water efficiency of restrooms. Implement a fixture replacement and retrofit policy with technologically advanced water-efficient alternatives to conventional fixtures. Use waterless urinals where appropriate and convert faucets to automated and sensor-driven fixtures for greater efficiency. Use condensate from the HVAC unit as a non-potable water source for flushing toilets and urinals. Set up a leak detection program to provide occupants an easy way to report leaks. The benefits of implementing sustainability measures in restrooms includes automated electric hand dryers to eliminate the need for paper products. Waste heat from HVAC systems can be used to preheat domestic hot water. Automated sensor faucets limit the passing of germs from occupant to occupant. Selecting the right renovation materials can help contribute to a more sustainable operation. Procure durable, environmentally preferable, and long-lasting materials specified from local suppliers and vendors when undergoing a major renovation. Actions related to this efficiency measure include selecting locally sourced materials that require less transportation and support local economies. Specify low-emitting materials to create healthy indoor air quality. Composting organic waste is another measure for improving the operational sustainability of a facility. Composting appropriately eliminates waste and reuses natural materials as nutrients for useful landscaping purposes. The benefits associated with composting are improved water retention, which leads to a reduced need for irrigation on gardens and grounds, and energy and water savings resulting from reducing portable water used for garbage disposal. The use of environmentally friendly cleaning products within a facility contributes to a healthier indoor environment. Facilities should establish a green cleaning policy for the purchase and use of non-toxic, low or no VOC and bio-based cleaning equipment and materials. Bio-based products are commercial or industrial products that are significantly composed of biological products, renewable agricultural materials, including plant, animal, and marine materials, or forestry materials. Green cleaning products used in restrooms and food preparation areas keep toxins from entering the facility's water and sewer discharge. Non-toxic and bio-based cleaning products provide a safe and healthy work environment. An example of an indoor environmental quality measure is the use of indoor plants. Indoor plants can improve air quality, create more comfortable spaces, and improve workplace satisfaction. Plants can filter air, sequester carbon, produce oxygen, and absorb chemicals such as benzene, formaldehyde, or trichloroethylene. Consider green walls to create inspirational or contemplative interior spaces, humidify the air, and improve indoor air quality. Interior acoustics can play a big role in improving the indoor environmental quality of an office. Good interior acoustics are particularly important to employees working in open spaces. Acoustic interior panels made of environmentally preferable materials are a great option for reducing noise levels without affecting the indoor environmental quality. Acoustic interior panels made of translucent material block sound while allowing daylight or general light to penetrate into a space, which can lessen the need for electric lighting. Actions for improving interior acoustics include using materials such as acoustic ceiling tiles and carpeting to absorb sound, and using sound blocking strategies such as space design and furniture placement to control noise-generating sources. The Sustainability Action Plan is critical to cement your facility's commitment to sustainability and to maintain important momentum. The best practices for developing a Sustainability Action Plan include asking senior management to host an official launch event, establishing clear roles for team members, ensuring project expectations mesh with team members' availability and duties, keeping team members consistently up to date and seeking their input, scheduling regular check-ins, and setting achievable timelines for deliverables and checkpoints. Summarizing, benchmark and goal-setting results in an action plan documents your team's progress and presents it effectively to management, staff, or other audiences. Consider updating your action plan annually. Ensure your action plan covers the critical elements like sustainability program intent, sustainability vision, priorities and performance goals, and current benchmarking results relative to the baseline. Include technical steps and targets related to each performance goal, such as sustainability measures that specify actions and policies for meeting each goal, key performance metrics that identify units used for tracking progress, an implementation timeline that details a time frame for carrying out each measure, team roles and resources relating to each measure, and outreach and communication plans to influence occupant behavior and garner support. Also, include a measurement and reporting schedule to document progress. In Module 4, we reviewed benchmarking and analyzing data to set sustainability goals, selecting and evaluating sustainability measures, and developing a sustainability action plan. In the next module, we will discuss the importance of sustainability as a cycle for continuous improvement. Welcome to Module 5, where we will learn about sustainability as a cycle for continuous improvement. This final module will discuss the implications of revisiting and revising goals and activities. The actions related to this step in the cycle include tracking and communicating progress, revisiting goals and making strategic adjustments, and sharing lessons learned and recognizing achievements. Your team should plan to collect new benchmarking data at least every 6 months to determine the progress of your activities. Facility data can be updated all at once in Portfolio Manager using available Excel templates. Periodic progress checks, such as every 3 to 6 months, will allow you to compare actual resource consumption data with your team's stated goals, determine measured effectiveness, identify mid-course adjustments, identify best practices, make informed decisions about future projects, and recognize individuals and teams for accomplishments. During the tracking phase, team members should provide regular updates on assigned tasks and keep clear records of activities. Be sure to archive meeting minutes, progress reports, expense receipts, survey focus group interview notes and results, activity photographs and videos, and presentations and reports to management. A mid-course adjustment that fine-tunes your activities and shifts resources as necessary does not need to be expensive or time-consuming. Several strategic phone calls, personal interviews, or discussions with your team or group of department employees can reveal much about what's working well, what's not, and why. Include a diverse group of respondents, both demographically different and from different workspaces or divisions. Assure them that their responses will remain confidential and help improve the project. Look for answers to the following questions. Are measures yielding results? Is data being received and tracked in a way that is useful for planning purposes and project execution? Are new policies and procedures clear and understandable? Are lessons learned and best practices being documented? What obstacles remain to achieving the goals set? Listen carefully to answers that may reveal necessary corrections to communications or policies. In addition to reporting, it is critical that your team regularly revisits and revises the action plan to learn from and improve on current performance. The key steps in reviewing the action plan include soliciting feedback on current programming and new ideas from the Energy Action Team, management, and employees, including new employees. Be sure to include both veteran and new employees in this conversation. Identifying the critical factors that contribute to meeting or missing annual goals, including the effect of tenant behavior. Identifying and quantifying added value benefits resulting from your activities, such as employee comfort, increased productivity and job satisfaction, and reduced operation and maintenance expenses. This is also a good opportunity to assess the need for additional training about sustainability policies and procedures, such as new operations and maintenance procedures designed to promote sustainability, administrative tasks that support energy management, such as reporting, monitoring, and data collection, and orientation programs that illustrate desired behaviors for new employees. This is also a good time to review internal team engagement. Teams tend to start off with terrific energy fueled by the excitement of taking on an important endeavor. Without clear goals, expectations, roles, timelines, and resources, as well as recognition and celebration for progress made, a team can quickly lose commitment. Strategic, consistent communication will strengthen your employees' understanding, ability, and willingness to support your team's activities. The sustainability team should develop a strategy to communicate their goals, activities, and progress to other building users. It will take consistent outreach and education to foster a long-term culture of energy conservation. Keep outreach fresh by relaying program goals and accomplishments in new ways. For example, develop an intranet website or blog to post updates, tips, and special features. Use posters and visual displays to highlight accomplishments and savings. Display a creative milestone marker in a central public space to post progress. Create a special feature in newsletters to spotlight energy-saving employees. Submit articles to print and digital media highlighting goals and activities. Schedule regular updates on all-hands meetings. And host an event in conjunction with Earth Day or another widely attended annual event at your facility. To maintain support for greening efforts, you should brief management on performance trends and progress. Reporting to your managers allows them to identify areas for continued improvement relative to their priorities and reaffirm their commitment to the project. Reporting results can take many different forms, but any report should be tailored to your audience. Management will be interested in cost savings, increased productivity, ancillary benefits such as improved morale and building occupant comfort, and the need to meet department and federal goals. Prepare briefing or summary documents intended for senior management to report on progress. These summary reports should include an executive summary of the planning and implementation process, the qualitative and quantitative findings, factors that contribute to meeting or not meeting goals, the next steps for continued improvement, how results will impact future programming, and opportunities to save more resources and money. Try to use anecdotal quotations to support key findings. Incorporate photographs taken at activities to illustrate your accomplishments, and use clear graphics to illustrate energy and cost savings in your pilot project. The long-term success of your Energy Action Program will hinge in large part on employees' consistent support and enthusiasm. Develop a recognition program at your facility to reward individuals and groups that have contributed to your program's successes. This can be formal or informal and does not need to be expensive. It is more important that the recognition is public and occurs on a regularly scheduled basis. Consider honoring outstanding contributions by presenting in-house energy management awards. Offer certificates of achievement or publish names of energy savers in the organization's newsletters. Recognition can be made to individuals or teams based on multiple criteria, such as Most Innovative Energy Savings Project, Most Participation, Greatest Energy Use Reduction, and Greatest Cost Savings. Forms of recognition can vary. Team members can be recognized through formal acknowledgement, certificates, monetary awards and cash bonuses, awards, and media attention. In this course, we have reviewed a number of critical measures for implementing sustainable strategies in existing federal facilities. The content of this course covered includes the triple bottom line of sustainability and fundamentals of sustainable facility management, broadening routine practices to include sustainability measures and meeting goals, forming a multidisciplinary team to baseline and benchmark projects to ensure progress, selecting and implementing sustainability measures with multiple benefits and cross-cutting impacts, and creating a structure for continuous improvement and resources available for assistance and training. There are a number of strategic objectives that should be considered when evaluating sustainability policies. Policies should establish energy accountability by instituting a chain of command, defining roles in the organization, and providing the authority for personnel to develop and implement energy management procedures. Ensure continuous improvement by developing provisions for evaluating and updating energy management policies to reflect changing needs and priorities. Align with departmental strategic sustainability goals. Set performance goals that link sustainability goals to your department's fiscal and mission-critical objectives, and whenever possible, reinvest energy savings in facility improvements. Together, we can lead by example and create a more sustainable future. NRCan and other federal organizations provide valuable resources, guidance, and training to assist you in the development of sustainable strategies. Examples of available resources include the Pan-Canadian Framework on Clean Growth and Climate Change, the Federal Sustainable Development Strategy, the Greening Government Strategy, and NRCan's Energy Management Best Practices Guide for Commercial and Institutional Buildings. These resources can be used to learn more about active federal commitments related to climate change and strategies to meet these objectives. Other useful resources include Energy Star Portfolio Manager and RET-Screen. Lastly, if you have any questions about sustainable strategies for existing federal facilities or are interested in other training opportunities, do not hesitate to get in contact with the Office of Energy Efficiency using the contact information provided. Our email address is nrcan.greeninggovernment-governmentvert@canada.ca. Our website can be found at nrcan.gc.ca/greeninggovernment. Thank you for participating. Now we will have some quiz questions to test what we've learned. Question 1. A benefit of upgrading restrooms to include automated sensor, low-flow faucets is A. Reducing the energy needed for heating water. B. Reducing potable water usage. C. Limiting the passing of germs among occupants. D. All of the above. E. None of the above. The correct answer is D. All of the above. Question 2. Broadly speaking, the goals of sustainability for high-performance buildings include A. Reduced impact of the built environment on our natural ecosystems. B. Mitigation and reduction of greenhouse gases. C. Minimized resource consumption and waste. D. Creating productive, healthy work environments. And E. All of the above. The correct answer is E. All of the above. Question 3. When discussing sustainability as the triple bottom line, which of the following is not included? A. Environmental stewardship. B. Social responsibility. C. Compliance with federal regulations. D. Economic performance. The correct answer is C. Compliance with federal regulations. Question 4. In discussing the 4 fundamentals of sustainability for high-performance buildings, the 4 fundamentals include A. Optimizing energy performance. B. Water resource efficiency. C. Environmentally preferable products and materials. D. Enhancement of indoor environmental quality. E. All of the above. The correct answer is E. All of the above. Question 5. The process for determining a facility's energy use over the past 12 months is known as A. Benchmarking. B. Baselining. C. Reporting. D. Goal setting. E. None of the above. The correct answer is B. Baselining. Question 6. The economic benefits of water efficiency include A. Reduced annual water costs. B. Reduced costs for water treatment. C. Reduced energy costs for producing hot water. D. All of the above. E. None of the above. The correct answer is D. All of the above. Question 7. Building occupant behavior has been shown to directly impact up to blank% of building resource use, which makes occupant education critical to improving sustainability. A. 10%. B. 20%. C. 30%. D, 40%, E, 50%. The correct answer is C, 30%. Question 8. An example of a low-hanging fruit for improving sustainability in an existing facility would be to A, ensure that all building equipment and systems are being operated correctly. B, ensure that preventive maintenance to building systems is occurring on a regular schedule. C, review site policies for operations and maintenance, purchasing, and property management to improve sustainability practices. D, adjust data centers' operating conditions to meet revised ASHRAE standards. E, all of the above. The correct answer is E, all of the above. Question 9. It is recommended that the site's sustainability team collect new benchmarking data, blank, to chart the progress of its activities. A, every 6 months. B, annually. C, biannually. D, every 5 years. E, none of the above. The correct answer is A, every 6 months. Question 10. A sustainability team can improve occupant behavior by addressing the following issues. A, assisting occupants in becoming familiar with new building technologies. B, providing feedback mechanisms so occupants can track progress in meeting sustainability goals. C, identifying cultural norms and institutional protocols and requirements that do not foster a sustainable workplace. D, all of the above. E, none of the above. The correct answer is D, all of the above. For more information on sustainable strategies for existing federal facilities, do not hesitate to get in contact with the Office of Energy Efficiency using the information provided. Our email address is nrcan.greeninggovernmentvert.rncan@canada.ca. Our website can be found at nrcan.gc.ca/greeninggovernment. Thanks again for your participation.